The glass shattered against the wall the exact moment Vanessa screamed. "You expect me to believe you're leaving with nothing?" Daniel didn't flinch. The expensive wine slowly dripped down the white paint like blood, while the courtroom documents rested quietly on the table between them. Outside the penthouse windows, rain hammered the city skyline. But inside the room, the silence after her outburst felt even colder. "You already took the house," Daniel said quietly. "You took the cars, the accounts. What else do you want?" Vanessa laughed bitterly, crossing her arms. "Your pride? That's the only thing you still have left." Her friends sitting nearby exchanged smug looks. Daniel recognized every expression on their faces. Pity, mockery, satisfaction. The same people who once called him brilliant now looked at him like a defeated man crawling away from his own funeral. Vanessa grabbed the final divorce paper and shoved it toward him. "Sign it." Daniel stared at the paper for 3 long seconds before calmly writing his name. Just like that, 15 years of marriage disappeared. Vanessa leaned back with a satisfied smile. "So where exactly are you going now? Your tiny apartment?" Daniel picked up his old leather bag slowly. "No, I'm moving to my grandfather's mansion." The room exploded with laughter. One of Vanessa's friends nearly spilled her drink. "That haunted dump outside the city." "You can't be serious," another said. Vanessa wiped tears of laughter from her eyes. "Daniel, that place should be condemned. Even homeless people avoid it." Daniel finally looked directly at her. "Maybe some things still have value even when they look broken." "Oh please," Vanessa scoffed. "You always talked in riddles whenever you failed." Daniel didn't answer, because deep inside, something about the mansion had never left his mind, especially his grandfather's final words before he died. "The house only reveals itself to the patient." At the time, Daniel thought the old man was losing his memory. Now, standing at the ruins 3 days later, those words echoed louder than ever. The mansion looked worse than he remembered. Massive cracks crawled across the walls. Dead vines strangled the balconies. Broken windows stared like empty eyes into the stormy evening. The iron gates screamed loudly as he pushed them open. Even the air smelled abandoned. Daniel stepped inside carefully, his flashlight cutting through thick darkness. Dust floated through the air while old portraits stared down from the walls. Most people would have turned around immediately, but Daniel noticed something strange. Despite decades of decay, one grandfather clock near the staircase was still ticking. Tick, tick, tick. He walked toward it slowly. "Still working after all these years?" he whispered. The clock suddenly stopped. Then a soft clicking sound echoed behind the wall. Daniel froze. His pulse quickened as he searched the area. After several seconds, he found a tiny hidden compartment behind the clock containing a rusted silver key and a folded note. His hands trembled slightly as he opened it. "If you're reading this, it means you lost everything first. Good. Wealth is wasted on arrogant men." Daniel swallowed hard. Only his grandfather could sound cruel and wise at the same time. Below the sentence was a single line. "The real inheritance begins beneath the house." Thunder exploded outside. Daniel stared at the floorboards beneath him. Then he heard footsteps upstairs. Heavy footsteps. He looked up instantly, heart pounding. "Hello," he called out. No answer. Only silence. But then another sound came. A faint laugh. Not Vanessa's. An old man's laugh. Daniel gripped the flashlight tighter and slowly climbed the staircase, every step creaking beneath his weight. The darkness upstairs felt thicker somehow, heavier, like the mansion itself was breathing around him. "Who's there?" he shouted again. Nothing. He entered one dusty room after another until he reached his grandfather's old office at the end of the hallway. The door was slightly open. Daniel pushed it carefully. The room looked untouched. Books still lined the shelves. Old maps covered the walls. A fireplace sat cold beneath a giant portrait of his grandfather staring directly at him. Then Daniel noticed something strange on the desk. Fresh footprints in the dust. Someone had been there recently. His heartbeat slammed harder against his chest. He searched the room carefully until his fingers brushed against something hidden beneath the desk. Another note. This one contained only numbers, coordinates, and one sentence. They are still looking for it. Daniel read the sentence 3 times, his stomach tightening with every word. They are still looking for it. The storm outside intensified, rain crashing violently against the windows while thunder rattled the ancient walls. For the first time since entering the mansion, fear crept into his chest. Not fear of ghosts, fear of people. He quickly folded the note and slipped it into his pocket before rushing downstairs. His grandfather had never written meaningless things. If someone was searching for whatever was hidden inside the mansion, then Daniel wasn't alone. A loud engine suddenly echoed outside. Headlights swept across the broken windows. Daniel instantly killed his flashlight and crouched behind the staircase. 2 black SUVs stopped near the gates. "Who the hell?" he whispered. 3 men stepped out wearing dark coats. One carried a flashlight while another held a crowbar. Daniel's breathing slowed. They couldn't have found out already. The men forced the front doors open and entered carefully. "You search upstairs," one ordered. "Boss said the old man hid documents somewhere in this house." Daniel's eyes widened. Documents, not money. Something bigger was happening. He waited until their footsteps separated before quietly moving toward the grandfather clock again. His hand shook as he inserted the silver key into a tiny hidden slot beneath it. Click! Part of the wooden floor slowly opened. A hidden staircase appeared beneath the mansion. Daniel stared down into darkness. Then he heard footsteps returning. "Someone's here." Without thinking, Daniel slipped underground and pulled the hidden door shut just as flashlights swept across the room above him. The underground tunnel smelled ancient and damp. Narrow lights suddenly flickered alive along the walls as he descended deeper beneath the mansion. At the bottom stood a massive steel vault door. Daniel froze. His grandfather hadn't been exaggerating. There really was something hidden beneath the house. An old fingerprint scanner beside the vault blinked faintly. Confused, Daniel pressed his thumb against it. Access granted. The vault slowly opened with a heavy metallic groan. Daniel stepped inside and stopped breathing. Gold bars, shelves of cash, rows of sealed documents, computer drives, stacks upon stacks of financial records. The hidden fortune was real, but what stunned him most wasn't the wealth. It was the screen mounted on the wall. The moment it flickered on, his grandfather appeared in a recorded video message. "If you're watching this, Daniel, then your life collapsed exactly as mine once did." Daniel's eyes filled instantly. The old man smiled sadly from the screen. "I built this fortune after people betrayed me. Friends, business partners, even family. I learned that the world only respects money after they disrespect the man." Daniel sat down slowly, unable to look away. "The money is yours now. $150 million spread across legal accounts, gold reserves, and ownership shares hidden under different companies." Daniel covered his mouth in shock. But listen carefully, his grandfather continued. "Some powerful men helped build this empire through corruption years ago. These documents expose all of them. They've been searching for this vault since my death." Suddenly, loud banging echoed above the ceiling. The men had found the hidden entrance. Daniel stood up immediately. "There's no time," he whispered. On the screen, his grandfather smiled one final time. "You were never chosen because you were the smartest, Daniel. You were chosen because losing everything didn't destroy your heart." The video ended. Daniel grabbed several drives and documents before shutting the vault. Seconds later, the underground staircase exploded open upstairs. Search everywhere. Flashlights swept through the tunnel. Daniel escaped through a smaller passage leading outside the mansion into the forest behind the property. Rain soaked him instantly as he ran through the darkness, clutching the evidence tightly against his chest. 3 weeks later, the city woke up to shocking headlines. Corrupt business empire exposed. Multiple executives arrested. Secret documents leaked. Vanessa stared at the television in disbelief as reporters showed footage of Daniel standing beside federal investigators outside the restored mansion. Her wine glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor. "No," she whispered. The reporter continued, speaking excitedly. Sources confirmed Daniel Hayes' recently inherited assets estimated at over $150 million. Vanessa's face went pale. Her new boyfriend slowly turned toward her. He said he was broke. She couldn't answer. Days later, she drove nervously to the mansion, now fully restored and breathtakingly beautiful. Luxury cars lined the entrance while workers moved across the massive estate. Daniel stood near the fountain wearing a calm black suit. Different. Stronger. Vanessa approached carefully. Daniel, he looked at her quietly. Tears formed in her eyes. I made a mistake. Daniel said nothing. I was angry, she whispered. I didn't know. You knew enough, Daniel replied calmly. Vanessa lowered her head in shame. Then Daniel looked up at the mansion behind him. You saw ruins, he said softly. I saw what everyone else was too impatient to understand. For the first time in years, Vanessa had no response. Because the man she once laughed at was now standing in front of everything she lost forever.